no risk, no reward. So everything requires risk. You have to have the system, the discipline, because this is everything in trading. It's like any other business. It's the mindset behind it. When I follow the process, is the only way I'm never gonna feel angry at myself. To be better, you have to do better.
Today we've got an absolute blast of guests. So we've got Serge Dfouni here, who has created a 9-figure business in terms of the Sunset Hospitality Group that he's part of. A restaurant chain that owns restaurants in Dubai like Sushi Samba and 35 other restaurants here. He's also a very successful trader in terms of investing in the markets. So today we're going to really dissect what it takes to maybe scale a business to that point. You doing that coming from Lebanon, and also in terms of what you're doing now in terms of the money you make in terms of investing and the mindset that all comes into that. So firstly, big thank you for your time today.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
You've explained the story before. Sorry, you've explained this story to me before in terms of your first investment in the Sunset Hospitality Group. At the time, did that seem like a big risk to you, or it was like a gamble? What does your decision-making process look like when you have an opportunity like that put in front of you?
Yeah, absolutely. I wouldn't say it was a gamble, but I would say that I've seen an opportunity. I wanted to escape my 9 to 5 because on that time I used to be an employee, and I used to work for a company that is well known, and they have all the brands like Zara, Massimo Dutti, and then an opportunity came up that was not really on my agenda at all. So I had a friend, I'm going to tell the story because it makes sense. So I had a friend, he used to have a club in Seychelles. Okay, and then the club was very successful. Then he parted with another guy, and then they used to own this club in Seychelles. Now, Seychelles is an island, so then the limitation for growth is not really big. And then they have reached their limitation, and they were looking for another location where they can go and then open up something that they can build on and then expand. So they chose Dubai. So that was around 2009. They came to Dubai, and it took them a year to open up this club. And then by that time, one of the partners defaulted. This is where I came in, and then the opportunity presented itself. And then, yes, it was a big investment for me. And I had to take 450,000 dirhams loan from the bank. And then I put all my savings because I believe that if I want to escape the 9 to 5, and then if I want to really move from employee to employer, then I really have to take risk and then invest. And this is what I've done back then.
What was the biggest fear you had at that point? Was there any big reservations?
Well, the biggest, to be honest, I didn't have any fear, because I said this is the only way. Otherwise, I will stay where I am, and I will never really evolve. There was excitement. There was a vision. Like if we cannot make it happen, there will always be a way to succeed if we keep doing it. Like if we never give up, if we keep consistent. And then there is a story as well, I can tell later on about how we turned this place from being a really a club not performing into what have we done in order to make it perform over time.
Okay. To go into that story, what do you think is, when you see something maybe isn't performing as you want, what's your process to identify what the issue is and maybe how you resolved it in this example?
Okay, so you have to try many different things. Like, for example, you have a goal. The goal is to make this place successful. However, sometimes you have to change the plan or the way you do business, but never really the goal. So what we did is we wanted to translate the success for my partner, who used to have clubs in the US and in Seychelles, as I said, into Dubai. So when we tried, we've seen that we're not known. We lack reputation, and then we couldn't succeed in the English business, meaning like an English club. So we said, okay, fine. since there was many English successful clubs back then, we thought, what if we do, for example, we cater into the Indian, since the Indian is a big market. So we did that, but it didn't work. Then we said, okay, let's do Iranian. We did Iranian, it didn't work. And then we kept on trying many different things, until one day we said, until we reached really to a level where we had almost, I think, $300,000 in debt. This is where we were like, okay, something is really going bad, and then we have to think differently. Then we started thinking, what can we do in a country like Dubai to be unique and then different than anybody else? And then we thought Arabic, like the Khaliji music. We came to know that the Emirati and then the Saudi, they have their own type of music. So we said, maybe this is a place where we can try. And then from the second we took this decision, and then we brought in the right people who knows about, for example, a DJ who plays the Khaliji music, etc. The place was doing extremely well. It was like a cash cow. We couldn't really, we started doing, for example, we started opening on a weekend. Yeah. And then we started opening Wednesday to Sunday. Then because the demand was much bigger, we started opening 24/7, like not 24/7, we started to open like 7 days a week. Okay. And we've realized that when you really think of a niche rather than you go broad, you have much more chances to excel. And also another advice I would say is never giving up, because we could have given up at any point. We really had debts. The place wasn't performing. We were helpless, but then still, because we persisted, and then we kept on trying different things, then at the end it paid off.
How important do you think your mindset is in that process, and when things aren't going the way you want, and then also you're working with other people in the business, also like everyone being on the same level playing field? Because I imagine in that position it's easy for sometimes some people to like get more concerned than others, if that makes sense, that everyone's communicating well.
Yeah. I would say mindset plays a big role. And then also it comes down to each individual, it comes down more to your beliefs and so on and so forth. I think that we had the right mindset. We knew that we had a good location. We knew that we were in a 5-star hotel. And then we knew that it's only about the way to be successful. We never really thought that this is it. We never really thought like we will never succeed. We always had this mindset that we will succeed, but it's about time. And it's about doing it right. And it's about keep trying. So I think I would say the mindset has played the biggest role in here, because I mentioned this previously. We could have given up many times, however, we didn't. We kept on believing in ourselves, and then we kept on, both of us, by the way, not only me, my partner is also like, he's a very positive guy. And then he was like very persistent, and we never both reached to a level where we said, you know what, we're done. We kept saying, okay, we're not doing it right. What is it that we can do to make it right? What is it that we have to do differently from others? So we kept really looking into ways to make it successful. And this is where I can say that the mindset is everything.
And would you say that also you failed a lot of times until you then found success?
Oh, definitely.
I think one of the things a lot of people get disheartened with is they try something once and it doesn't work and they give up.
Yeah. It's a common thing among many different people. And then I always say this, for example, that's your goal, and this is where you are today. And then people, they think if I want to reach this level, it's going to be, for example, like that, and then they would reach mentor. But then the reality is you go up, down, left, right, you get hit many different times before hitting your goal. And then normally, if you ask me, like if I knew this is that difficult. If it was that difficult, maybe I wouldn't do it. But then normally when you do something, you don't really think about how difficult it is. You think that you want to reach this goal, but then along the way, you get really hit from many different places. And this is here, like, responding versus reacting is a big thing in business. If you really want to be successful, you have to always, you get the issue, you fail, but then how you respond to the failure is everything.
Yes, how you come back winning out of that scenario.
Exactly, because definitely you're going to fail. But then I love when I'm failing because this is the only way I'm learning. I never really reach a place before I fall a few times. And then on every time I fall, I learn something. But I have to ask myself as well, what did I learn?
I think as men, it's human nature, like this primed into us that we don't learn the easy way. So you're driving a car really fast, you nearly crash, it's fine. You drive cars really fast and you crash. It's only until you crash the car, I shouldn't probably drive like that.
Yeah.
We only learn from mistakes because we don't really take it seriously. And that's why one of my favorite expressions is pain is knowledge really fast. Like when something hurts and you make a mistake, you're like, yeah, definitely. It mentally scars you to that's not happening again.
Yeah, it's good, because it primes you to say that if you're going to do it again, you're going to feel the pain. So what we do to avoid the pain, we start to do things differently, and we are much more careful, and then we take calculated risk, which is a great thing. What I wanted to say as well is, looking into the internet nowadays, everybody try to convince you that things are easy. Nobody really says the truth. Everybody says, it's easy. You have to do it the right way. You have to do it the smart way. But then, in my experience, again, I'm talking about my experience and then my personal opinion, nothing came to me easy. Everything needed a lot of hard work, discipline, consistency, and then sometimes things took really long, So this is something I want to say. It's like, if we want to do something, we shouldn't really think of it as easy, because in life, there's nothing really easy unless you inherit some money from your parents, or I don't know, or you're lucky. But then even luck, I think luck comes for the bold, the people who takes really risk, who really, get up and go and then do it.
Fortune favors the brave.
Exactly, you said it better than me.
And I think that's where I think one of the biggest mistakes most people is they don't look at risk to reward ratios. They don't look at what's the potential upside versus the downside. If the upside's 10x, 1000x, and it's probably worth taking the risk it could go wrong.
Yeah. Definitely. Look, no risk, no reward. No risk, no fun. So everything requires risk. And it frustrates me when people come to me, or, when I meet those people, and that they want everything easy, and then they tell you, okay, can you give it to me for free? And then I tell them there's nothing really for free, because if you don't really put in the time, effort, and energy, you're not going to get anywhere in life. And then if you don't really risk, you cannot get anything in return. You have to really risk something, risk money, you have to risk your time, you have to actually also invest in your time, you have to invest in something. So talking about risk, you can't achieve anything in life without really taking a risk.
Now, next thing I wanted to go into, which involves risk, is you got into trading, investing. How did that take place?
Okay, it was back in 2019. I was doing very well. Okay, I had already a couple of businesses. One of them is Sunset, where I'm a shareholder and a board member. It's a hospitality chain. And another one is a distribution company. Okay, so I do have a distribution company based in Dubai. I bring in brands from the US and Europe, be it in gift items, souvenir, toys, stationery, and then I sell to major retailers in the UAE and the surrounding region. So I was thinking for a additional source of income. I was like always believing that you have to have a multiple source of income. And then I thought, what is it next that I can do that can bring for me money passively? So I went on trading. Okay. And then it was a horrible experience because I thought that if I'm smart or if I'm successful in business, then trading is something easy for me. I fooled myself. Then I started trading and then started losing. I did stock trading, I did Forex, Bitcoin, crypto, you name it, only to keep losing and losing and losing until I lost around $650,000. And then the reality is I couldn't really tell anybody because I felt so ashamed. And then I was so unhappy with myself. And then I couldn't really go tell my friend, hey, listen, I lost money. Then I knew that there's going to be a judgment, especially from the people close to you, because they're going to go, are you crazy? Are you nuts? Did you lose your mind? So I was trying to avoid this kind of judgments from my friends and close family. And then I kept quiet about it, but I was really angry. Then I said, okay, since again, I have the mindset, I was like, okay, fine, I lost it. But how can I get it back? So what is the way? I went on really take it seriously. And then I made a commitment between me and myself that I'm going to get back this money. How? I didn't know at that time. But then I started to really take courses. I started to learn. Yeah. And then I came to know that if you're successful in one thing, it doesn't mean you can be successful in another thing, because you don't have the knowledge. So everything is different. Like, for example, fitness. Yeah, I can't have your expertise, because this is what you breathe day in, day out, and then you have much more expertise than I do. Then when I really took it seriously and then I committed, I started really putting in the work and then learning from the best. This is when I started to do better. Okay, I started still winning and losing, but I was starting to understand the game. Then I said, I wanna really go one step further. This is when I reached to my mentor, where we're partners today, and then we provide education and software solutions for anybody who's willing to get into this business or into the trading world. And then he taught me a lot. He's I think 15 years senior to me. And then he has much more experience. And then he has the wisdom. He has the know-how. He built software solution. He built algorithms. He used to be a trader. He did over $200 million trading the financial market from 1998. And then when I started to have the tools, and then the AI intelligence and the machine learning in my hands, this is when I started to really have systematic approach for trading. And this is when I was never losing anymore. Although I still lose till today. I might lose for 5 consecutive days, but then I know how to recover it later. So now, because I have a system, I'm always winning rather than losing. For example, if I'm looking into it at a monthly, I'm always winning. If I look at it in a yearly, I'm always winning. But then if I look at it daily, there are days I lose and then there are days I win.
With the initial investment you put back in, so say you lost $600,000, what did you start investing with again when you went back into it? Did you start small or was it?
Small, definitely. Because I really learned the right way how to do it, and definitely capital has a big thing to do with investing. But again, if you don't know how to win with $1,000, you don't know how to win with $1 million. So and when I thought about it this way, it kind of hit me. So I said, let me learn how to win with $1,000, and then once I master how to win with $1,000, then I'm gonna move to the 10,000. And once I feel myself comfortable that I'm winning with the 10,000, then I'm gonna move to the 100. So I took it one step at a time, yeah. And this all came to the mentor I reached, and this is why it's very important to invest in mentors and mentorship and courses. because you go to people in something they really know when it comes to their specific niche. You know, like for example, this guy, all he does is selling cars. He did it for 30 years. So then if you go to him, that, you know, he knows the trick. He knows how to talk. He knows how to explain, you know, all the options about the cars, etc. Same thing I've done with trading. The guy, he's been for 30 years in the market. And then when I reach out to him and then we just spoke for the first time, I knew that there is a huge gap. Yeah. And then I knew that something was missing. And that's why I invested in mentorship, because this guy was a successful guy. He made money. He has proven methods. So then the belief in yourself grow, because, you know, if this guy make it, then I can make it as well.
It's the certainty in the process then, right? Because you're going to follow his advice because you know he can do it.
Correct.
What do you think, was there a big mindset set battle for you when you went from, like, say, 10K investment to 100K again? Were you worried when you first took that jump up?
It was emotional. It's the emotional...
Because it's the same game, but your emotions fuck with you because you know that the number's bigger. Exactly. Right? It's another zero.
Yes, it's because you know that the number is bigger. So emotionally, you are more involved. So that's why I use the system. So it doesn't matter the amount I'm trading as long as I'm 100% sure I did the right thing. Okay. For example, if I take a trade, it's because my system tells me to take a trade. So at least I know that I did what I have to do. Yeah. Not just I base my decision on my emotion or what I believe or what the market is saying or what the news is saying or what the technical analysis is saying or what reading the charts are saying or whatever, you know. I base my decision on a simple method that I use it every time I take a trade. This is number one. Number two, I set my risk-reward ratio. I say, okay, if the trade goes against me, this is how much I'm willing to lose, and this is how much I'm willing to take profit when it hits my price point. And then when I do this, I'm no longer emotionally involved, whether it's 100,000 or 1 million, because I know that I did what I have to do, and I know in advance how much I'm gonna lose and how much I'm gonna win. And if my probability is 70%, that I'm always going to win.
And that's where you stack the cards in your favor.
Yes.
What's the most difficult thing you think for people learning to trade?
I think the complexity and then the time. Most people from experience, when they come to me, they don't really understand this business properly. You know, they think of it that something magical is about trading, or that there are some secret formulas, or they think it's a quick, rich thing. You know, they fail to understand that they have to treat it like any other business. You know, because if you want to invest in anything, you have to first invest time. You have to invest money, and then you have to work on this thing, right? So when they come to trading, they don't want to do any of that. You know, they think like, okay, they want to trade and they're going to make money the next day. So we tell them that if you really want to do money, first you have to invest in yourself, in your knowledge. You have to know what you're doing, right? And then you have to put in something. You have to put in a capital. If you don't have $1,000, you don't have $5,000, so how do you expect you're going to make money? Yeah. And then you're going to have to follow a system. Because if you don't follow a system, like for example, you know, if you open up a company, you know that you're going to have first a trade license, and then you're going to bring in an office, and then you're going to have to furnish it. You need staff, you need capital, you need computers, you need whatever, you know, IT, etc., and so on and so forth. So the list is too big. While trading, you don't need all of that. All you need is you put in a little bit of time, you know, you invest a small capital, and then you just learn it.
And it's the compound effect over that a long period of time, right?
Yeah, everybody doesn't really want to
Wait.
they don't want to wait. They want everything quickly, and then that's the problem. Going back to Warren Buffett, he has proven to the world, him and many other known traders, they have proved to the world that this is the safest bet. Two things, you have to do it if you really want to make money or you want to build wealth. Is number one, you have to think long term. Number two, you have to do it without leverage. Like so many people, they might not really understand what leverage is. But leverage is mean when you trade $1 for 100, or $1 for 300, or $1 for 500.
It's like a multiplier of what you're saying.
Yeah, like a multiplier. Okay, so it's very good if you're always going to win. It's perfect. But then what if? We all know that the market is always volatile. So what if the market is going against you? So if you don't really have a system, if you don't really understand what leverage is, if you don't really understand that those companies are designed to make you lose money, it's like a casino. You're lucky to win in a casino, but you're likely to lose in a casino. Yeah, and then from studies out there, 95%, if maybe 99% of people, they lose in casinos. It's the same thing in trading.
Well, also, I think what people don't understand is that with leverage, you can 10x your wins, but you 10x your losses as well, right? So it's people only see the winning, but they don't see the other side.
So it needs a lot of awareness, needs a lot of education, knowledge, and that's what we do. Like, and my message on social media and here today is I want to talk more about the bad things than about the good things, because that there is a lack of awareness. Because in trading, like in any other business, loss is there. One way or another, you're going to lose. So that's why you need to really know that in advance. You have to know what leverage is and know how risky it is to do it. So if you want to do it, if you don't really work on your risk reward ratio, if you don't really know what you're doing, if you don't really have a system, and that, because at the end of the day, why you do it? Because you want to make money, right? And then most of the people, they want to do it because they want to make money, but they don't know anything about it. And that's why they can't. I was there, I was losing all the time. It's because I was doing it the wrong way. But then once I started to think differently and then have a system and then work on my risk reward ratio, then
everything falls into place.
Yeah, exactly.
So interestingly, I've got about $600,000 of crypto at the moment. And I'll get your opinion on this. My strategy, which I think is a lower risk strategy, is I've literally just been buying, accumulating and holding, like to the point where maybe the end of the year or when the market's gone up, hopefully significantly off the next bull run, I'd probably try and exit. Nothing is leveraged. And I bought some of this that I was up like $300,000 in last bull run. I can't remember if I told you the story. And on the 4th of December, I was going to sell like half of it, or probably all of it, on the 18th of December, was my birthday. 4th of December, the market fucking tanks. I was like,
yes.
So I was like, I'll wait for it to come back, and it never did. And the market kicked me out. And I bought loads more at the bottom, and now it's come back up. So what would you say in terms of that as a strategy for people listening to this, in terms of like just buying and holding, in terms of like longer term positions, is safer than people who I see get caught when they're trying to like jump in and jump out, like almost like day trading?
Yeah, definitely. I would definitely, it depends. Every trader is on a different journey, and everyone want different things. Now, if you already have the money and then you have a decent amount that you want to build wealth, I would definitely say long term. Yeah, and then what I mean by long term is, for example, there is the normal way, and there are other ways. Like, for example, we do have softwares, that you make money on the up and on the down. So this is the advantage. Like, for example, in your case, you have the capital, right? And then you're doing without the leverage, and then you're doing the long term. So everything you're doing is right. But what if I tell you that there is another way where you can make money on the dip as well? So you can win both ways. So this is what we do that everybody asks, or maybe that's what I do because I do have the knowledge, I do have the softwares, and then I do use AI to make money both ways. Like for example, in your same scenario, I'm doing the same thing. I have almost $1 million. I put it on Bitcoin, but I trade it both ways. Zero leverage, long term. But then when the market dips, I make money. When the market goes up, for example, when the market went down from maybe 48 or 49 down to 43, then it went a little bit up and then went down to 39. So I made money on the dips as well. Okay, so this is something now, I don't confuse things, but this is something that can be done. However, to go back to your question, long term is definitely the best way, because your money will compound. Now, if you want to make some passive income out of it, you can say, for example, every year I want to take out 10%, 20% from this money, 30% from this money, and I want to leave 80% or 90% or 70% to compound. And then what the compounding does magic, the Warren Buffett method, So your 600,000, imagine Bitcoin in 5 years goes to $500,000. And then you do the math. Then your 6,000 is, I don't know. How much is this?
8 million or something, probably around
8 million. So this is the beauty of compound, and this is the beauty of trading. When you do it and then you know what you're doing, and then you know what is the outcome, then this is the way to really make money and then build wealth. But when you just do it without really knowing what you're doing, you're definitely gonna lose. And then going back to different people who has like a different risk appetite, and then for the people who really wants to use leverage, I don't mind. However, they have to do it properly. They have to really enter the market.
So put stop lots.
Yes, put stop loss, take profit, and then they have to understand their capital. If I have 10,000, okay, and then I'm taking a couple of trades, I want to make sure that if I'm gonna lose, I'm not gonna lose more than $500 or $1,000 of my capital. So then you still have a solid capital to make it up for your trades. But you have to have really this in place. You have to have the system, the discipline, because this is everything in trading. It's like any other business. It's the mindset behind it. Because most of the people, they are reactive. They get angry because he lost. So he takes another trade. God knows why. It happened to me. I was taking trade just out of revenge, out of anger, out of, I don't know. And then I kept on losing. So I tell people, do not do this. If you lose, accept it. Take a deep breath. Wait for the next day, wait for the next opportunity, and then take the trade.
One of the things you said there is opportunity, because I think a lot of people, and I've done that, I've gone chasing opportunities before, trying to look for something to trade when there's nothing to trade. Whereas like a lot of times, things will come to you, and like when things go wrong in the market is when you want to buy. So I don't know, it happened a couple of days ago after the Bitcoin ETF, the market suddenly dropped a shitload.
Yes.
It's like a time, like I bought some then because like that's the time to buy, but I hadn't bought any for like 3 weeks before that. It's like trying to be patient and just like almost like a squirrel storing the nuts, waiting until you can deploy them for when there is a good opportunity.
Yeah. The answer is definitely patience, and that's fun. Because the market is full of opportunities every single day, but then it does not mean that the opportunity is right now. So maybe you're now, on your screen, and then you're looking for opportunity, and there are none. So don't take any trade. Wait for the night. Wait for tomorrow. What's wrong with that? Yeah. And then I'm telling you that from experience. We have clients, they do the same mistakes. So they come to me, they tell me, hey, Serge, you know what? I lost yesterday. I said, why? Can you show me your trade? Why did you take the trade? Yeah, because there was no opportunities. I'm like, okay. So then you did something wrong. The system told you to take any trade. He says no. So why did you take it? Because there was none. So then don't take it. So what is it better, to take any trade or lose, or to be patient and take good trades that wins. You know, like
a lot of people just want to gamble, though, and they just want to throw the money in. I think some people almost get addicted to that process to some degree.
Yeah, it is. And then most people, they're not honest.
Is in with themselves?
Yeah, you know, with themselves, and they don't want to admit that there is sort of an addiction somewhere, or because, you know, like part of the mentorship we do, we follow up with clients, and then 95% of the time we see that they are doing the mistakes, although they really know that they've done something wrong, but they don't want to admit it. And then they do it out of habits, out of addictions, out of patterns that they used to. And this is something really hard for us to teach. It's like similar to your job, for example. You know, you have clients, but then you tell the client, listen, you have to eat 2,000 calories, and then the guy is eating 2,100. So how can you really teach him that the discipline? You can't teach discipline.
Yeah, you can't do the basics.
Yeah, you can't teach discipline. You tell the guy you have to train 6 days a week if you want to reach that body, and then the guy is training three days, you know, or he's doing the wrong moves, and then you try to tell him, you know what, but you have to. You know, you have to do the cardio, because if you don't do the cardio, you're not going to get results. But you have to really, you know, have a calorie deficit, because if you don't have a calorie deficit, this is our struggle with our clients. They know. We tell them, but why did you take this? But why you didn't put a stop loss? But why you didn't follow the risk work ratio? But why you didn't take profit here? Why you thought that something is going to happen? Don't just follow the system blindly and then live happy. You know, it wins, it loses, and we wait for the next one. So this is our biggest struggle with people. You know, it's you can't really teach those things. It has to come from you. You have to be serious. You have to be committed. You have to be disciplined.
Do you have any processes you use before to get you out of those negative, maybe feedback loops?
Following the process. Because when I follow the process is the only way I'm never going to feel angry at myself, or I'm going to be emotionally involved. Because when I go back, I say, I'm, you know, of course, I mean, I'm going to look back. For example, I took a trade and then I lost. Yeah. And then I go back. Okay. So that was the right way. You know, I took, the system told me buy here, I bought here. And then it's showing that if it reached to this level, then the analysis are wrong, then this is my you know, like stopping the loss, the stop loss. And then, so I'm looking, and then I'm checking. And then if everything I did is right, I don't really feel bad at all about it, just because I followed the system. So when I don't follow the system, this is when it's painful.
And do you think people need to feel some pain with trading to learn?
Definitely. You know, it's you know, like any other thing, you know, if you don't really feel pain, I mean, the pain is a fuel. You know, the pain can produce fuel for you to build you know, resilience, and then, you know, to build character, and then to build seriousness and commitment to become better. So to be better, you have to do better, like any other things. And then pain and failure are part of this transition. Yeah.
Are there any books you'd recommend people read on trading or mindset to help this?
You know, there is the Warren Buffett. That's the one I've read. There are a couple of other ones. I don't have them on top of my mind. I'm writing a book. It's called The Mindvestor. So it's more about the mindset behind investing. And then I talk a lot about my experiences, about the investment I've done, and I talk, like, mainly the book is about the mindset. Yeah, of course, it talks a little bit about investing in stocks, for example, or real estate, or bonds, or ETFs, or Bitcoin, or whatever it is. But then in my opinion, in anything, you have to have the mindset first. You have to be strong from the inside so you can really succeed on the outside.
100%. With the mindset you're putting into the book, what's the real mindset you're trying to teach in that? And is there anything for anyone listening to this that they can maybe take as a snippet, like to take away to try and implement?
Everything starts from within, and it's people, they have choices in life and they have decisions. So it's always the choices they do that is going to change the trajectory of their life. So my answer to your question is, if you really want to be successful in anything, you have to put three things, You have to say, I have to put in the time, the energy, and most importantly, I have to invest in myself. Because investing in yourself, in your knowledge, in your education is going to be a no-brainer. This is the only, because this is you. Nobody's going to steal this from you. Once you really have the knowledge, the experience, the know-how, you have it for a lifetime. So this is what I can really tell people. First, before you invest, start investing in yourself, in your education, in knowledge, and then definitely you're going to make it and succeed in life.
100%. I couldn't resonate with that anymore. I think that's probably a good place to finish. Where's the best place for people to find out more about you and what you do in terms of the trading world?
I do have a theme page on Instagram. It's a page called Winning Wallet. Or they can go to the website. It's winningwallettrading.com.
Awesome. Big thank you for today.
Thank you so much, Charlie.
It's a pleasure to learn some more information from you. And I know I interrogated you a bit last night. So thank you for that. For everyone listening who enjoyed this, make sure you go and check out The Winning Wallet and check out Serge. And if you could share, like, and subscribe to the podcast, it'd be awesome. And we'll check out the next episode soon. Awesome. Thank you.
Thank you. Thanks.